dream reality is when I move to Costa Rica, I want to have 3 partners. They all get on. They all inside, and we don't know whose it is, and we all.
Good luck.
That's the dream. I don't know. It's natural for me. Sex is, like I said to you earlier, adult play.
Yo guys, welcome back to another episode on my channel. I'm sitting in this spot, which means I have another great conversation lined up for you today. You know, on this channel, we like to talk about all things dating and see what we can do to attract the kind of person we want for a relationship. So without further ado, please welcome Georgie to the show. Georgie, welcome.
Hello.
How you doing today?
Yeah, good. Feeling fresh.
Feeling fresh? She's looking fresh. Fresh haircut.
Yeah.
Look at them tats. She's ready, boy. She is absolutely ready.
Born ready.
Always. So let's jump in. I always like to ask, tell us your age or your age range, if you don't want to share your age as a woman. And tell us one thing a guy should know about you if you want to take you on a date.
Oh, okay. 29, nearly 30.
Okay.
Getting there. Know about me is any relationship that I dive into has to be open sexually. So,
Open sexually?
Yeah, no monogamy for me.
Oh, that's very non-conditional, that?
Yes.
Why is that?
I've been like this for a couple of years, and I have gone monogamous for the last 2 relationships I've been in, and it's just created resentment and just...
Resentment on your part or their part?
I guess both, because I want to be free. And
okay.
I am free, and that's what I come with, and I'm very clear with anyone that I communicate with that is.
Have you always been like that, or did you like find yourself going into that?
Definitely been a journey. I've been like in the swinging and sex scene since I was like 21. So it definitely has been a journey. It definitely started with that I'd always be the extra girl, could never envision it in my relationships. That was down to my own insecurities. And then going further into the industry and meeting couples that, you know, practice ethical monogamous relationships and all that, I've realised that for sure that's for me.
That's for you.
That's for me.
What is it that what was it about it that attracted you to that kind of lifestyle and way of living?
The level of trust that you need to have.
Level of trust. Yeah,
like if you're with someone in your partnership and like, how can I explain it? Brain's not on form. Yeah, to know that even though you're playing with someone else or sexual with someone else, that doesn't implement the relationship that you have, and to trust that and to trust the bond and the connection that you guys have, that even though you're playing with someone else, it doesn't implement. It's just another sex toy. It's just...
So it's almost, it's just another human sex toy.
Yeah.
That's just what other people are. So is it more that for you, the relationship is about the emotional intimacy regardless what happens physically within the relationship or elsewhere?
Yeah.
Okay. So what does cheating look like to you then? What would be
doing things behind your back? So like
sleeping with someone behind your back?
Yeah, even with ethical non-monogamous, like so obviously it's down to every relationship and the boundaries that you create within it. Right. Because some people prefer to like not know when people go with other partners, like just do you. Yeah. I think any future relationship that I'm in, it would have to be a communication thing, like, oh, I like this person, or I'm going to this party, or I'm doing this. But if you were to find like, you know, messaging someone behind the back and all that, I would see that as cheating. Okay,
so what if like your partner, let's say they went out on a night out and then they ended up having a one-night stand? Was that yay or nay?
Would be communicated before you go out.
No, but let's say like it was like, so if they didn't communicate, they're like, oh, I'm just going out with my friends or whatever. We're just going out to this club. And then they meet someone, have a great time. And then that person's like, hey, come back to mine. Let's have fun tonight. Could they go even though they haven't, because they didn't plan to do that, right? They didn't plan to go out and hook up, but the opportunity came to them. So if they went, would you be like, that's cheating because you didn't confer with me before? Or would you be like, oh, okay, we're kind of sexually free. So as long as you told me that it happened, I'm good.
Yeah, I would say the latter, the second.
As long as they told you.
But it's also, most times when I get into relationships, I'm the one that's more open and free. It's more them that have the guidelines. So if they were to say that I couldn't do that and I couldn't go out and do this, but then they did it, that's where we have a problem. Right. But I think on a whole, I would be fine with that. But most relationship you don't have. So do you date, have you been in relationships with men and women or just men? Both.
Both. And do you find men are more sexually territorial or women, or it doesn't matter? In your eyes?
I wouldn't have enough experience. I've only dated really one girl and she was very free like me and great communicator. So I probably don't really have an answer for that. Yeah. But I'd find, especially being a sex worker and being so free, people or guys say that they're fine with it, they are okay with it, and then when it comes down to it, they ain't fine with it.
Yeah, I think they're okay with it at first because usually when they meet a girl, they don't know if they want to take her seriously. So like, oh, like her, I like spending time with her, we have fun. Oh, she like likes being like sexually playful with other people. That is really cool. But then if he looks at you and goes, oh, I actually really like who she is. I love who she is as her energy, her spirit and all that stuff. I want to see a potential future with her. Then yeah, guys tend to get quite sexually territorial.
Love with attachment.
Love with attachment.
Yeah.
You believe in attachment styles?
What does that mean? What do you mean attachment styles?
You never heard of attachment styles? Okay, I'm going to take that as a no then. I love that. What's one thing that you've learned about yourself since you've kind of been living, ethically non-monogamous in your relationships?
One thing I've learned about myself.
Yeah.
That I'm a good communicator.
Oh yeah?
That I think I talk about how I feel. Or don't lock box things in, or blow up and let it build, which I feel most people or a lot of people do.
I agree.
Because they don't know how to communicate like how they're feeling in the moment.
What's the hardest thing you've had to communicate to a partner before? You don't have to share if you don't want to.
No, that's fine.
It's too personal.
I went monogamous with a partner. And I'm so in love with the idea of love. So we both went down the love train and kind of love bombed each other. And then after a while I was like, I don't want to be monogamous. So having to have that conversation of saying like, yeah.
Halfway through.
Yeah. Of having to say and going back and then be like, no, actually I can't do this.
How long were you together before you were like, this doesn't work for me?
Not even that long, but like I said, I think it's like 4 months, I think, 3-4 months. All my relationships are pretty short, to be fair. Short and intense.
What's your longest relationship?
A year.
Okay.
Yeah, a year and then 6 months of friendship, really good friendship, and still sleeping with each other afterwards.
Isn't that hard? Isn't that weird?
What?
Like still sleeping with an ex?
No, not for
Because
me.
you say you have friendship and you're like, you've got amazing physical chemistry.
It wasn't hard for me, it was hard for him.
Really?
Yeah, because obviously I was still in the industry, still seeing people, and he still had that love with attachment. I think I can love without attachment, and I just become like I can separate sex. For me, sex is adult play, and I like to play with a lot of people.
I hear that.
It's the feelings and emotions that are different.
I know you say you can love without attachment. Do you not mean just you can love without maybe physical attachment? Okay. Like because there'll be other things that maybe you want your partner to reserve for you because it's like you're my person, right?
You mean sexually or you mean?
Just in general. It could be emotionally, spiritually. It could be like, okay, I don't want you going on holiday with any other bitch.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like, or if you're going to like family events, I'm the person you take because I'm your partner. You can't just be taking someone as...
That's stepping more into polyamory, not necessarily monogamous, like because that's more like relationships. Like why would you take another partner?
Well, you can take someone who you're not taking seriously because it's like, oh, they're just my date for the evening, but they're like a casual partner. Do you know what I mean? But you could be like, no, I want to be the person you go to those things with.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you do have attachment, just not sexually.
Okay. Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah, no, yeah, fair.
What's something you'd like to ask?
Put me on the spot.
Yeah, I'll put you on the spot.
Would you ever enter into a relationship with that's not monogamous?
I
had experience?
Yeah, I have. I've dated a couple of people openly. Like we had a very open we were sleeping with each other, but we're free to do what we want with other people. Yeah, I've done it. Would I do it with someone who's going to be the mother of my children? Absolutely not.
Why with such certainty?
Because if I'm being honest, I think the people that I did that with, I think the reason I was okay doing it with them is because I think deep down, I didn't see things happening with them super long term. Because I think for guys as well, when you're looking for like a girlfriend and a wife, I think it's very different. Like sometimes guys will get into relationships because it's like, oh, I love spending time with her. She's really cool. Like I want to kind of have this unit and kind of explore life with this person. But then I think when guys tend to get very like, okay, have a family, settle down, marriage minded, the standards I think shift. And I think certain things become more important than other things. Do you know what I mean?
I think it's also down to like your example and your conditioning. Because I know many people in happy relationships that...
Yeah, I mean, I'd say the only...
And it's the examples you have. We've been kind of programmed to believe that...
You don't think it's natural that some people are sexually territorial?
Well, you say the word natural if you look at, the animal kingdom. We're the only ones really that stay monogamous, and one in two, apart from, dolphins or one other like mammal, whatever it is. Oh,
well, what I would say is that for mammals, the females are monogamous, but the males aren't.
Oh.
So the males are very sexually territorial. So that's why when you get like the silverback gorillas, monkeys, primates. Let's even take a look at the lion kingdom. It's one male lion to several lionesses in a pride. And if another male lion comes, right, they fight, and whoever's the strongest male lion who wins takes over the pride.
Okay.
So the males are very sexually territorial.
But we're in 2023, so girls equal rights and all that. So
you can have equal rights and stuff, but obviously people have their preferences. But I think a big reason, and this is, if we talk about animals, the big reason why males are sexually territorial is because they want to ensure that the cubs are theirs.
Okay.
Right? Because as men, the baby doesn't come out of us, right?
Fair,
We don't know if it's ours.
For sure.
You know it's yours. Right?
Okay.
So a big reason why guys and males in mammals are very sexually territorial, and this is why I said it, I think it plays into when guys think about having a family, every guy's worst nightmare is to bond and raise kids that aren't theirs.
See, it's actually quite ironic you say this because my dream reality...
Oh no, what's she about to say?
Literally, and I've talked about this quite recently. My dream reality is when I move to Costa Rica, I want to have 3 partners. They all get on. They all inside, and we don't know whose it is, and we all.
Good luck.
That's the dream.
What percentage of men do you think would be happy accepting that?
I don't know the statistics, but
Have a
there's
guess.
going to be 3 out there in the world. So you find me in Costa Rica at the end of 2024.
So what if they were like, who's gonna take responsibility for the child?
Well, it's my responsibility. I'm the mother, and obviously they'll all be the father, and then it's.
Would you not want a man who'd be like, oh, well, with my child, I want to step up to the plate and be the male figure in his life?
I want them all to. I want my baby to have 3 incredible male role models of all different walks of life and all that brings something else to the table. It takes a village to raise a baby.
It does. I mean, they can definitely have 3 male role models, but they don't all have to be the father figure. So you could have an uncle, a grandfather, a cousin. Do you know what I mean?
What's the difference? That's just the status now. That's just a title now.
Well, I think the importance is the father is who takes responsibility for the child. It's not just you, because it's not just your child, right?
When you say responsibility, you mean as if they're what? Like if they break a leg and we're in Costa Rica and they got to pay the bill? What do you mean? Like,
well, you could say pay the bill, or it could be like maybe you're working and something happens. Who's going to go and pick up the child? Who are you going to call?
That ain't going to happen. I'm going to be living in Costa Rica. I'm self-employed. I've got money in the bank.
So you're never going to be separated from your child? That's not true. What about when they become a teenager and they go and explore, with their friends and all of this stuff?
It'd be like Mamma Mia. They'll have 3 daddies.
And you even said yourself, it takes a village to raise a family, right?
Yeah.
Right. So like, in order to raise the kid, people have to take responsibility for the kid.
Okay.
Is that not the case?
I just see my baby is going to be 3 little earth babies in Costa Rica living off the land.
Hey, listen, I think that's great. I think to find 3 guys who are willing to raise a child and they don't know who's the father, I think that's a rare find, but maybe it's out there. It is out there.
It is out there.
It is
Law
out
of
there.
attraction.
Hey,
baby.
wishful thinking. Let me ask you a question. What's one thing most guys get wrong with an ethically non-monogamous OnlyFans girl like you?
I'm easy.
Ooh, say more.
Yeah, well, that I'm going to fuck you within the first couple of hours. I can also be quite a trophy fuck, I feel, because obviously the way my social media is, and obviously I'm very sexual and stuff like that. And that's like, what I've thrived off for the last 10 years. People just assume, or that I want that from them, that I want them to be overly sexual in messages and like that kind of flirty banter quite quick and I really don't. Like I have to deal with that at work. Like I sext for a living. Like I make money off it. I don't want you to talk to me like that.
Would you say that your flirty banter is like playfully sexual or no?
Not until I've at least met them and connect with them first.
Yeah, of course.
It's the biggest ick when I get people, like I'm messaging them and then within a couple of hours, they get a bit, promiscuous and stuff. You know how the chat normally goes now, and it's the biggest turn off for me because that's what I have to do. I talk to people on my OnlyFans and I sex with them and charge them. I don't want to do it with some random off Tinder that I spoke to for 4 hours. Like, no thanks.
Yeah, no, I get that. How much do you think, because of your content and stuff you put out, how much of it do you think is because guys think that's the kind of energy that you enjoy? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, trophy fuck. People see that and it's like a wind thing to do that. But also my content I think is a little bit different from others in the sex industry. Like my whole brand and what I'm all about is that it's completely authentic and genuine. So I have to build a connection with it, and I'm very particular with who I work with. I don't shoot consistently throughout the year. I often, when I meet with someone to shoot, I'll connect with them first. We'll sit and have a smoke or a chat and like say what your do's and don'ts, what you like, what you don't like. I don't do the whole role play, like, you know, can't play the plumber and all that crap, boyfriend's caught you. I don't do any of that. I stick the camera on and I go. I don't edit my content. I have no filters. It's all very raw and very real, and I don't really feel many of the people in the market are doing that. But to answer the question, do they think I don't know, maybe because that's also why I don't engage with people in my DMs, because they're going to only see me as that and believe me to be this sexual object. So that's why I don't give anyone entertainment.
So if let's say a guy discovers your content and let's say he likes your energy and vibes, like, oh, she seems really cool, I'd like to actually get to know her. Yeah, I find her attractive. Yeah, she's sexy, but I actually want to get to know her over like a coffee or something. How should a guy approach you if he was, you know, found your profile and stuff like that?
This is where I'm a bit in like self-sabotage, really, because it's like I want to date, I want to meet new people. And I feel like the modern way now is people to slide in your DMs on social media. Right?
Yeah, like dating apps online. Everything.
Yeah. So like on my socials, I don't reply to anyone.
Oh, really?
In my requests, like it's a rule. I just don't reply to anyone. Okay. I haven't got time for it because it's a lot of time wasters anyway. So I say to them, you have to sign up. So I've even had people sign up, and then I'm like, oh no, you've signed up, I can't date you now.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's a catch-22. Because anyone,
it's massively
you wouldn't date anyone who would pay to see that from you. Like you'd want someone
that's
to
an
just.
Assumption.
Would you? Well, you just said that.
Well, like
you literally just said that.
No, because then I've also, it's like they've caught me and they've already also said, well, you've said that I need to DM you. So I'm like, oh yeah, you're right, and I have given people chances, but
do you have a type?
Not physically.
Type energy? Or?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Confident, ambitious, open is very key. Affectionate, attentive. I like a lot of attention.
Do you like someone who is, because would you say you're quite extroverted?
Yes.
So you want someone who's quite extroverted too?
Yes.
Or would you want someone who's like, do you think you vibe with someone who's like more chilled and stuff so it kind of balances you out?
Healthy medium, maybe a little bit. Like when there's...
I want it all, baby. Yeah, I want it all.
That's why I want 3. I want the introvert, like, you know, like calm singer, chef, and then I want the one with a bit of trauma that's a bit, you know,
bit of trauma
that I can fix. Like I want them all. So
that's so funny. I love that. I love that. Let me ask you something else. What's that already? Okay, so imagine you met someone.
How?
How do you meet people?
That's a key part.
Really?
That's
how? Really?
Yeah. Because it's either online, because it's weird. I have a booming online social life. Like it's booming. Like I can go on my phone and be warped into that. But then actual physical social, massively lacking. Like, I have these intimate moments when I shoot content with people, and like the month that I'm shooting, I'm really active. I'm doing podcasts, I'm going out. But then my other side of my life is I'm in a van with my dog in the countryside, and sometimes I won't see a human for a whole day or 2 days. So when you say meeting people, so how have I met this person, for your example?
Interesting you say how. Surely if he's an amazing person, an amazing spirit for you to connect with, does the how really matter?
Well, yeah, because that can't translate through Messenger, I don't believe. Especially because I'm quick with replies. I don't probably give it time to translate.
Yeah, well, I guess let's say someone, because you said you've taken a chance on people who've slid in your DMs before, right? Mm-hmm. So let's say you met him, let's say he was someone you gave a chance, or let's say while you're out with your dog and stuff.
One
in
of
a
the
caravan.
very rare few.
Rare few, okay. And let's say he was an amazing person, was everything that you kind of looked for, and you really fell in love with him.
Right.
Would you compromise on being open to be with him?
I have. I've done this. I've done this
you
twice.
You were super in love with them both?
Yes.
Okay.
Lived with one. One was my best friend of 4 years. And then we transferred to a relationship.
You transferred, you upgraded.
Yeah, upgraded.
Leveled up.
Yeah. So I've done that. I've done exactly that twice. Okay. And there can also be, the compromise middle ground would be, okay, monogamous is in our relationship. We don't go out and, meet other people like that. But in my work sense, I'm open. So I still fuck other people, but a camera's rolling. So that would be the balance. That would be the only compromise I'd go to. I will not give up collaborating, and because it's also, I've built amazing connections. Like I said, my content's different to others. So the male creators that I work with, I have a really good relationship with all of them. I'm currently sleeping with like 5 of them, and all off camera.
Wow, that's intense.
You think?
5 at the same time?
Not all at the same time.
Like within what time period?
Like a month, like 5. Like,
do you not think that's intense?
No.
No, fair.
No. I don't really have much, like, I don't really do much else in my life. Like, I walk my dog and I do yoga and I fuck. Like.
Yeah. Do you not find that you share energy with people you're intimate with?
Mm-hmm.
So isn't that a lot to be sharing with like multiple people within that quickly?
I can take it.
Clearly.
I can take it. And I kind of enjoy that energy exchange.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I hear that.
And one thing I'm very confident and comfortable with is sex. Like, I'm very much myself, and it's natural.
Well,
it's
don't be anyone else.
It's authentic. It's so, I don't know. It's natural for me. Sex is, like I said to you earlier, adult play.
Yeah, I get that. No, I get that. I think it's obviously. I think for some people you're a bit of a unicorn, which is probably why so many guys fall in love with you, actually, because it's like you're really cool, you kind of get it, and you're very real. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, there are things that come with that. Some people are like, oh yeah, I'm down for that, and some people they're not.
I'm also quite laddish. Like,
what do you mean?
I'm very much comfortable, like, chilling with boys.
That's what I mean.
Them, like, yeah.
Yeah. How much of your work? So you know how I was like, oh, if you fell in love with someone to be with them, you're like, the compromise you would make is I have to be able to work, but I won't sleep with other people outside of that. Get that? How much of your work can be masked for you just wanting to sleep with someone? So
well, I guess all of it, because it's I don't. Yeah, like, the content's genuine. So
I really want to look. This is for work, babe. But babe, he's never filmed ever. Yeah. But I'm gonna make him film, so it's technically work.
Yeah. Well, it's also verified creators. Like.
Yeah. If it's creators, then fine. But it's like, imagine you meet a guy, he's never done it before, but you really want to sleep with him.
Yeah, I guess that would be the loophole, wouldn't it? To that. But then that's also,
so
I wouldn't do that because that'd be sneaky as fuck and would break the bond of whatever boundary we've created in the relationship and the compromise. And I wouldn't do that. If I felt really sure and I was like, yeah, I do want to be into this person, that's a conversation that would need to be had with my partner. Yeah. And like, I'm not afraid to have these difficult conversations to talk about that. I don't shy away from that. So
no, I think it's good. I think you can't shy away from that if you're going to have this kind of dynamic in a relationship. Do you know what I mean? They have to be open to that. I've got some great questions. We've got some more. Is there a difference between a fuck buddy and a friends with benefits for you? Not really.
Nah.
No?
Nah. I think because, like I said, I like to have that connection. I can't just... Even, obviously, I'm promiscuous, I'm in the industry. I've never really had like a one night stand. Like, I
really?
Don't, yeah.
That is
I
really hard to believe.
I don't really go and just fucking, nah. I have to connect.
You never had that intense chemistry
them.
with someone like that day? And be like, hi, you know.
Like, I went to Iron Appa and did seasons and did those kind of days. Like, I feel like that can't really count. Different country, different, you know.
There's still a one night stand.
Okay. But like, but even then I was a worker. So the people that I was sleeping with, it wasn't like random tourists. It would be workers, and I still hung out with them for the next 2 months and, you know, was friends with them. So like the people that I sleep with casually, which I guess is all of them, like I have a genuine connection with all of them, and I'm not afraid for, like, I'm a person, like you said, is a lot to take that energy. Like I say, I can take it. Like, I'm a lot of people confide in me and bring it.
Yeah. That's what I mean as well.
And I'm like a lot of the people I sleep with, they feel comfortable enough to like ring me up and talk to me if they're having a bad time or whatever. Like, there's.
I feel like for a lot of guys, you're like the perfect friends with benefits, because they can talk to you like a bro, and then be like, oh, we can have sex and it's calm. It's so chill. But
I still want those. I still want to be held, and I still want to go out for dinners, and I still want them to check in on me and all that kind of stuff. So I still have.
Okay, so you still want them to almost date you?
Yeah, I guess if you want to put I guess it's the label of that.
Okay,
it's the dating with the unexpected of the future. You know, like I'm not expecting.
You mean the potential?
Yeah. Like if that makes sense.
So the 5 guys you said that you're currently sleeping with, are you only involved with them because you see a potential future with all of them? No. Oh, isn't that what you just said?
No.
Oh, what do you mean?
Because they know. I don't know how I'm trying to word this. Like, but then all those people that I'm sleeping with are creators and sleep with other people, and it's like they know that I'm not forward thinking, that I'm not like thinking of a ring or like, you know, because I feel like a lot of girls, when they say, oh, they want it casual, I don't want it serious, they're actually lying. Like, they're just saying that because they think the boy wants to hear that. I agree. When they know that's actually authentic. Like, I actually.
But then you just said that you kind of still want them to date you for the potential of something in the future.
No. I didn't mean that. Like, I meant like.
Oh, okay.
No. I still want the cute stuff, but it's also because I'm going to Costa Rica, and everyone I sleep with, they know that. So it's like there's no 5-year plan because I ain't gonna be here. Like, and I know they ain't coming. So it's that I feel like they can chill and they can relax. Like, I'm not going to break her heart. Like, my heart ain't going to get broken.
Yeah, of course. Is there anyone, you don't have to disclose this if you don't want to, but is there anyone out of those 5 guys in a relationship with someone else?
I don't know.
No. You don't know?
No, they're not. No. Few are in situationships.
Okay, so they've got someone else that it's not just work, someone else that they're actually like emotionally investing in.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
And I ask about them, you know, like I'm happy to communicate because I'm not a jealous person either.
So you're cool with, you're cool with your guy sleeping with other people. Let's say a guy that you're having this situation with, right? Who you're like, oh, potentially there could be something long term. I know you're going to Costa Rica, but hypothetically.
Okay.
Right? And like, I get that. You're like, oh, you still want the cute stuff. You still want you to check in, make sure I'm okay. Let's like have date night and stuff like that. Of course, because that builds the connection to have better sex and better intimacy, right? But then if he's doing that with someone else, that's not exclusive to you. Do you know what I mean?
I don't want it exclusive to me.
I mean, emotionally. I mean, all that intimacy, all that.
Yeah,
like,
I don't want that either.
Interesting.
Because it's also like I haven't done it yet, but polyamory is something that I'm very open to as well.
Multiple being in a relationship with multiple people.
Not just the ethical monogamy thing. Like,
yeah. When you entered this sex ethically non-monogamous space with and all the people you've met in your network, was there anything that surprised you?
I guess my first kind of examples. So when I was living in Australia, I moved there because I went through a really awful heartache breakup. Like it broke me. It was dreadful. So I ran there to escape. Always being a sexual person, I got on Tinder. This is where I was introduced to like couples. And I met this incredible couple. And before this, my outlook was always, I'll be the extra girl, never in a relationship. And they are who changed that. They've been together since they were 15. It's like 15 years and they still took each other's breath away. And just the level of like I said, trust, like he'll be shagging me and she'll be happy to walk out the room and like there's no, and I was like, wow, they must be so secure. And just they never argued. They were just the healthiest, strongest couple that I've ever known.
Yeah.
And I find that with any couples that I meet that are really open, I find there's actually more love there. There's more communication. There's more all of the good stuff because they're given that level of freedom.
Yeah, I think that I agree actually to some extent because I think that's a necessity for that to work. You can't be in an open relationship and your communication is whack with each other and you don't have that level of trust because I think a lot of people can coast through a relationship because they feel an element of security so they don't have to work on certain things. But when you have the freedom to be like, this person could meet someone else and that could be it, there's more of an incentive to be like, okay, let's make sure that we're both happy and we're both working on this. You know, that's very coherent for our future. Yeah, I mean, I would be open to it after we had kids.
Okay. Well, that's a big one because you were quite like.
Well, I think I was thinking.
No.
I think I was thinking like moving forward.
Okay.
I'm quite an open person. Like I'm quite, open-minded. I have my principles and values and stuff, but I'm not so much. I can hear another perspective and be like, okay, like maybe I can take something from that actually would aid me because, most of the people in my circles as an actor are very liberal-minded, very open. Like I said, I've dated people where it's been very open before. But it wasn't really a serious relationship, I would say. But I think, I don't know, I'd have the conversation. That doesn't mean I'd do it, but maybe I'd be open to the conversation. Because I think if you've had kids, you've been together for like 2 decades and stuff, you've got to a point where, you're kind of happy in life.
Spice.
Yeah, you could be like, I want some spice or, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't eliminate it from the table, but I don't know if I would do it for sure. I'm open to a conversation.
Still, being open is good.
Yeah, 100%. Do you ever want kids?
100%.
Oh yeah, you just said.
No doubt. I've wanted kids since I was like 13. I've already got my girl's name picked out.
What about the boy's name?
Without a doubt. I've got ideas boys, but it's not so cemented. Yeah. Definitely. To the point where if I get to like 35, 36, it's sperm bank for me.
Okay.
Like definitely will have a child, even if I need to do it on my own, which I don't want to do because I do believe the child needs male role models. Hence why I said like,
What, 3?
Yeah, like, but imagine how beautiful that is. Like, do you know what I mean? To have 3 different examples and like.
I think that's right. I think most people have multiple male models in their lives. I'm just saying,
if they're lucky,
if they're lucky, true. Not everyone that, you know, it's not everyone has that blessing, but the example you gave is like 3 different fathers is who's gonna take the responsibility of being the father. And I think that is actually really important, especially if you're gonna have a son. That's actually really important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elaborate.
Well, because only men can raise boys into men.
Okay.
And there are things about being a man that as a woman you will never understand. And vice versa, right? There are things that I will never understand as a man about being a woman. And it's not even just about how we feel, how we think, how we operate, but also how the world treats us. The world treats us very differently in certain aspects and environments because of our sex and our gender. And so because of that, there are environments where we have to move differently. So for example, as a man, especially like I'm the 6'2" black guy, right? So I'm very conscious that if I'm walking down the street at night and there's a woman coming towards me, I will cross the road to let her know that I'm not a threat. Whereas if I was a woman, I probably just wouldn't even think about that.
Oh, that's so sad though.
Well, it's just part of it. Yeah. It's just part of it. Do you know what I mean? Like the world's not fair in that sense.
That's why I don't want to be here.
What, the world?
No. This, like Costa Rica, I don't think that would be.
I think you'd find it more there. I think you find more disparity between the sexes, because I think especially UK is like one of the most egalitarian places on the planet, like where there's the most equality across the board. So you go into Costa Rica, you're going backwards in that sense. You're not going forwards.
Okay.
She's like, I don't want to accept that.
Yeah, but we're moving on.
So you want to have kids.
100%.
How would you feel if they saw your content?
Great question. Well, obviously, I'm going to come back to being in Costa Rica. It's not going to be like the technological life that we run here. Like social life and your social platforms are so important here to people. That's not going to be the way of their life. Like they'll learn from the land. Why'd you say that? Why'd you?
Because even third world countries are catching up to first world countries. So where a lot of third world countries are today was where first world countries were 30 years ago.
Right.
So it all trickles down. So everything we have today and the way it is today,
it's still there. You can have in Costa Rica. They've actually got incredible Wi-Fi. It's next to America. Like
they've got incredible Wi-Fi in Costa Rica.
The signal is actually incredible. It's actually mad.
Yeah, and like technology is advancing and it's becoming more accessible. So it's only a matter of time before they're gonna.
But I mean, in my community that I'm planning to build, when I go over there,
you're gonna like have no phones, no internet.
It's not no phones, but just not the way of the life. Like this brick follows me and is in my hand all the time.
Yeah, but
this is the world that I live in. But that ain't going to be the world we live in. That will be like a plant, or will be in the ocean, or will be a scuba equipment. Like we'll be living off the land and connecting to the land and the community that we build around us over the fake and artificial community that is within the brick.
I get that. So it's interesting because you're like, in one breath, you've kind of said, oh, I've built this whole online community and stuff and everything, so my partner would have to accept that. But actually, when I have kids, I'm going to disconnect from everything.
Yeah. Resent it. I resent it massively, if anything. Like I've been doing this 5 years
now. So you would give it up? You just wouldn't do it for a partner. You do it for kids.
No, because I wouldn't be doing it for kids. I wouldn't be doing it like at that point when I have children. It would be running itself. Like I think, but I don't know. How can I? The question was if they saw my content. Right?
How would you feel about if they saw your content?
How old are they?
13.
Boy or girl?
Both.
I have the open conversation.
Okay, how would you handle it with your son and then your daughter?
I guess I would hope that I had taught them by that point to be able to express their emotions in a healthy way.
Okay.
And obviously I'll let them be heard and validate their feelings, because obviously that will be an emotional thing depending on what they've seen.
What's the worst thing they could see?
Me getting absolutely railed by 3 giant guys.
She's going to say black guys.
I was, but I ain't getting called out for fetishizing. Being there, I was.
And she's in a room with 2 other black guys.
What do you think I'm doing after this?
That's like, hey, fair play, boy.
Literally that.
That is so funny.
I'm about to make the content now. Yeah, so one, I would be curious how they would have seen it, because they would have even had to dug in, or someone in our circle would have had to show them, because I don't plan my children to go to normal schooling, which is where I think most of this would come from. Like their teen would show it because their boys pick their phone up. Mine won't be like exposed to that.
Well, if
that
you become
level of teaching.
if you become big in the space and you become like a superstar,
Ooh, yeah.
it's gonna be very easy for them to come across.
Especially as I use my real name as well.
Especially since you use a real name, the real name. So like, I think, because unless you're gonna be like, hey, you can't have any access to the internet ever, the chances out of them finding it is incredibly high.
To be fair, I think actually I would. These are things I haven't really thought about in depth, but I think I would be pretty open and honest from the get-go of when I believe they'll be able to handle it. Maybe I'd rather them tell them before they're exposed to it, if they're exposed to it.
Okay.
And also they'll be living a life that is very privileged and lucky to be able to live abroad like that and to have the freedom and non-worries of finances and all that kind of stuff. So I want them to understand like how we've been able to have this life, obviously cushion it maybe, and like prepare them as they get older. But who knows? Like, I'm very much in the moment kind of person. So to have these kind of questions and these thoughts, I haven't really spent much time thinking about it. But for me, I always say honesty is the best policy, and that's how I'll handle it, even with my children at any difficult age. Like, and just have to take it as it is.
I hear that.
But I'm not going to because a lot of people say like, oh, you shouldn't do this because of your future children. Like, I'm not going to change my life now and the freedom that I have. And I have so much freedom. I don't have to do anything. I can do what I want every day. Every day's been a Saturday for me for 5 years. And that's because of the sex industry. And I'm so grateful for that.
Yep. But but the thing is, when you have children, as a responsible parent, you have to make sacrifices.
Oh, for sure. Your life's technically over, and their life is the priority.
I mean, like, they're the priority. Not that it's over, but yeah. I know what you mean about honesty is best policy, and I agree. But I think, and especially depending on the age of your children, I think there are things we have to protect our children from. So, like, for example, if I have a wife and 2 kids, right, and I'm struggling to pay the mortgage for the next few months, that's not something I'm going to disclose to them. Okay, that's for me, but that's also
a future worry. Like bills and stuff is inevitable. Like, they're going to live in that life, right?
I know, but I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm really stressed, son, because like I don't know how I'm going to pay the mortgage next month.
Why would you communicate it like that though?
Huh?
You wouldn't communicate it like that.
I wouldn't say anything to them. It's not their job to worry about the security of the house. That's my job.
Okay, but like I said, I'm just using your example, like bills and something that would be inevitable for them later in life. And also for me, my content, I don't make porn. I have sex. Sex is how babies came into this world. Every human has it. And I feel like there's a lot of shame and stigma around sex.
What's the difference?
As a topic. What, between porn and sex?
Between what you do and porn?
Mine's genuine. I don't cut. I don't edit. I don't do any script. I don't wear makeup.
But isn't porn just like, you can have sex and then if you film it, right, and then if you're selling it and making money off it, that is porn. That's why it's called sex work.
Well, if we go down to technicality of what technicality of like, you know, what words mean, but like,
words have meaning.
For me, porn is when you've got a production crew, you fool the whole thing. You're doing, this is your scene. You're doing this little 10-minute intro. The delivery driver's turned up, and you think it's so hot, and you can't pay the bill. Like, mine ain't about that. Mine is sex. Like, sex is different to porn because you watch porn and that's not realistic. Those moans ain't real. When she's getting absolutely slammed in her ass and then having to like that, that's not sex. My content is sex and it's authentic, and that's where different porn, on the majority, is not authentic. Those moans, that speech play, that ain't real. That shit, and you can see it in their face. And I even believe porn can be really destructive for people. That's why I like to think that my content is more ethical, because it's genuine, and that's where most of my feedback and compliments and stuff comes from, my authenticity. And
so I understand. I understand what you're saying. I think you're talking about the very stereotypical commercialized type of porn, because there's different types of porn. Because there are people who do solo play, right? It's just them and the camera and they're just masturbating on camera. That's all real, but it's still porn. What do you mean? What do you mean?
I know a lot of my friends do only solo, and that ain't real.
Yeah, but there'll be a lot of people and a lot of actresses where it is real. because that's how they get off, right?
I think
they get
it's
off by
also
filming
harder
it.
for you to understand because obviously I know the content I make and you're just taking it from what I'm saying. Like if you were to watch my content, like for example, if I'm shooting with someone and I get dry mouth midway, I'll have a drink and I'll have a laugh. Like
I'm
we
not
have
saying what
jokes
you
in
do.
the content.
I'm not saying what you do isn't real, but I'm saying I don't think what defines whether it's porn or not is how real or not it is the actual shoot, because there's some people who make porn, right? And it is real for them because that's how they get off. Some people love being filmed and that turns them on, right? Like, do you know who Adam 22 is?
No.
You heard it? Okay, it's like someone in the like him and his partner, him and his wife, right?
Oh, they have a podcast.
They have a podcast,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
and they
yeah,
make
yeah.
videos together. That's porn,
Right.
right? And that's all real because they've been together for 7 years. They make loads of content together and they love it. And sometimes they invite girls. She just shot with this other guy, big black guy, ironically. But like, but yeah, like that's all real and that's still porn. Like, I don't know why you don't like the stigma of saying that you do porn, and I don't know why.
You're assuming that. I'm
Well, you want to disassociate yourself from
well,
it.
it's just something I've said. I'm like, my slogan, literally on my bio on OnlyFans, is I don't make porn, I fuck. You can break it down to the logistics of like what it grammatically like means, but
yeah. I don't think there's. Well, I'm saying there's nothing wrong with saying that you do it. You don't have to identify yourself with it, but I'm just saying that I don't think whether it's genuine or not is what makes it porn. It's the fact that you film it and make money off it.
And that's your opinion.
I think that's just the real meaning.
You seem quite adamant about this. Like,
well, I mean, I don't see the other.
Just on this.
Well, I think it's just common sense, don't you think?
Well, clearly not, because we're having a different opinion on it.
Well, I mean, I guess I asked you like, what's the difference between porn and kind of what you do, and you said that it's genuine, and I'm saying there is some porn that it is genuine. Do you not think there's porn?
Majority isn't. Like,
okay, but the ones that are, is that porn or no?
Well, again, they have the same stance as me. I don't. Again, we're just going down to logistics of what things mean. Like this is.
Yeah, first. I mean, you're right. It's not my industry. It's how I wouldn't know. What's something? I feel like I've grilled you a lot. Is there anything you'd want to grill me on?
Not really.
She's like, fuck you, man.
No.
Yeah, I'm just joking.
Are you in a relationship?
I have someone. Yeah, I have a partner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Close. Not much more to that. Okay.
Oh yeah, no, she's great. Like we don't do porn.
I gathered that.
That was fair. Yeah, I have a partner. Yeah, we just went to Cyprus together. It was a lot of fun.
Nice.
It was good. Yeah. Why did you think I was single, or was my energy like, oh, you're definitely kind of?
I don't know. I didn't really think about it.
Okay. Nice. All right, I'll ask one more thing.
Okay.
What would you say? What would you ask your 45-year-old self?
Ooh. I have no idea. No? That is such a good. What would I ask my 45-year-old self?
Yeah.
Are you happy?
That's a fair question. That's a fair question.
Did you get it?
Is she still in Costa Rica?
Yeah, I have a very clear ambition and drive of where I want to be. And I'm all about law of attraction. I'm all about that. So I guess did we make it? Did we get there? Have we got
That's
the 3 children? Have we got the multiple partners? Have we got the community that we wanted to build? Have we created the retreat place in Costa Rica? Did we do it all?
Yeah.
Did we achieve it?
Yeah. Yeah. I think is she happy? That's really good. And what do you think? What makes you happy?
Connection.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think relationships and connection is what enriches life for sure. And yeah, you find your tribe along the way. Find your tribe. I'm gonna let her go because I know she's got a shoot to go to.
I have.
She's got a shoot to go to with 2 other black guys. I think 3.
3.
3. God damn, she's strong, man.
3 big black guys. I can't wait.
Well, listen, Georgie, we appreciate you sharing your energy with us today, and thank you for coming on. If people want to find you, where can they find you?
Georgie, we're 97 on Instagram. And G that ass on OnlyFans.
Make sure you go subscribe, guys. Go check it out for sure.
It's real.
It's real.
It's real.
It's real. Well, yeah, again, thank you for coming on and giving us your time on this day. Guys, thank you for tuning in. Go show Georgie some love. Give us some likes. If you want to check out her content, check it out, right? Do your thing. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you in the next episode.